Honorable Phala? Dade Phala? Honorable Phala? Dade Pitso?
Hello.
Switch on and off. That is why Dade Phala switch off your mic and what. Because of I'm trying to change earset and my transition
No,
is
you
not
are
smooth.
clear. You are clear. You are clear.
I'm clear now.
Very clear.
Okay,
So-
ke a leboga.
So,
Re shota mang gore re kwate meeting. Anthea,
Morning, Chair. Yes, Chair.
how are you?
I'm good, and you, Chair?
I'm okay. Can we check your video?
Yes, Chair.
Oh, you look proper. It really shows that you'll be taking us through the document. Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
No, you are ready. You are ready. Good morning, members and the Magistrate Commission and our support staff. Buzela, I just want to check if we are correcting, and I want to extend as well my greetings to the legal advisor and PMG today and honorable members who are present. Members, I just want to check if I'm still audible on your sides, because on this side, I'm struggling to actually get to understand whether is it my gadgets or is the area that I'm at. So anybody can just indicate with sharp if everything is fine on my side.
So far, so good, Chair. Good morning.
you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Phala, can we, thank you. Thank you, members. Now it's 10:03. We are starting our meeting. I just want to check if honorable members are on a proper place in terms of today's meeting. If not, I just want to get an indication from any one of you if they will be proceeding with the meeting without videos, with mics on or what, because I want when we proceed, I must not ask a person switch on the video, what. So our members in a suitable place to continue with both virtual and audio.
I'm okay, Chair. Everything will be fine.
Okay, thank you, Ntate Pitso. Other members, because I want to take cognizance that when you speak, I must not say to you, switch on the video.
Am I okay? That's that.
Yeah, but fix your gadget. You ukare o duletse ko morao.
Is that okay?
Ka ke o bone, Ntate Phala.
Is it okay? I can't see myself. I don't know what's
Okay, you are not there at all. It's fine. Let's continue then. But put your gadget properly. Yeah, you are fine now.
Okay.
Sharp. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, honorable members. Now, members, I want to welcome you in today's meeting, having just celebrated Youth Day. I want to indicate to your good self that yesterday it was nice in my area. They hosted a tournament for ex-convicts and as well ex-offenders. People were there cheering them up, and I think the organizers, they are trying to integrate the ex-offenders and ex-convicts into the society. So it was one of the first youth day when one was experiencing public participation and social cohesion with people that always are isolated or excluded. And I know that all of you were somewhere celebrating this youth day. Some were sharing how did they manage to actually participate during apartheid, and as well those who were part of 1976. Because 1976 didn't only happen in Soweto. We know in terms of the history, in each and every corner of South Africa, there were activities in terms of ensuring that young people, they are on the street and they are protesting and making sure that whatever that they are fighting for as the cause, it actually gets victory. We are here today in terms of what has been raised as well by the IEC as we met with them last week with regards to voter registration by youth. And we have taken note that their efforts of making sure that young people are along in this particular LTE 2026 are responsive and impactful. And I know that yesterday, some of you did do your own programs in terms of making sure that the IEC is visible in our areas, because the target for this year's election is mostly the youth, based on the reports that we got on Friday. Members, I want to welcome you, noting that today, in terms of our agenda, we've got opening, welcome, and introduction by myself, apologies, adoption of the agenda. Item 1, briefing by content advisor on the written submission on OSBP Bill B12B stroke 2024 section 75. Item number 2, it's briefing by Magistrate Commission on Magistrate quarterly reports. Item number 6, it's committee discussions, and item number 7, it will be a way forward announcement and closure. Members, if you can see the agenda that is before us. Yes. I've been just disrupted by the person who's doing administration today. So members, this is the agenda before you, and one would declare this meeting officially opened. I would now move to Buzela for any apologies of item number 2. Buzela, can you give us apologies? And I have actually noted that Honorable Billy has submitted an apology through me, not Buzela. So it's one of the things that members must note as Buzela take us through apologies. Honorable Midupi, I just heard your voice, or is it me on my side? Okay, thank you, honorable members. Now I move for apologies. Buzela, can you take us through apologies?
Thank you, Chair. The apologies that we have received on our side is from the Minister Kubai. She is attending the interministerial committee meeting. And then we also have Deputy Minister Andrew Nell also, who has forwarded his apology. From our member side, we've got the apology of Inkosi Nongonyane. He delays with the flight, and also Honorable Billy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Are there any apologies that members would want to submit? Perhaps if you will be catching a flight or what? If there's so, one can indicate, so we note them as we adopt the agenda and apologies. Okay, so which means we are fine. Members, as I indicated, I think on your side, on what is being flighted, we need just to amend that it's item number 1, opening and welcome, item number 2, apologies, item number 3, the adoption of the agenda, item number 4, it's briefing by content advisor, it should be item number 4, not 1, and item number 5 should be briefing by magistrate commission and magistrate quarterly reports, and item number 6 would be committee discussions, then item number 7 will be way forward, announcement and closure. So I want to open for hands for members to adopt the agenda and the apologies. But one would want to indicate that the presentation would start with the quarterly briefing from the Magistrate Commission, and we would be getting the update on the disciplinary matters of magistrates. We want to confirm that during the course of last week, we adopted as well various Magistrate Commission reports in the House on the removal of Magistrate Mkansi, as well as the reports in respect of the magistrates who had resigned, including Magistrate Bodlani, Vakalisa, and Magistrate Burton. We also adopted the report to remove and withhold the remuneration of Magistrate Maitufi. We further confirmed that the NCOP adopted a report in 2025 to remove Magistrate Govenda at the last meeting. The Magistrate Commission indicated that they were still awaiting the adoption of the Portfolio Committee of Justice. We are hoping that this matter has since been finalized by the NA. We hope that we can provide clarity on this matter in today's meeting. So with that being said, members, I want just to go to item number 3, then directly straight go to the commissioner for their presentation with regards to items that are before us. Before we release them, then we'll then go to the one of the one-stop border post bill. Members, I'm noting hands for the adoption of the agenda. Dade Mokoena, can you mute? Members, I have opened the floor for apologies and adoption of the agenda as presented.
Chair, Honorable Pizzo Noe here. I move for adoption.
Okay, Honorable Pizzo, noted. Honorable Pala,
Yeah.
I can see your mic is on.
Yeah, Chair, thank you and good morning, honourable members and the senior officials. I second the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Pala. The agenda and the apologies have been duly adopted and seconded by Honorable Noe and Honorable Pala. So now, members, we move straight to the commission. The person who would be leading the department is Mr. Mokoena. Mr. Mokoena is with Mr. Finger, Ms. Ranian, and as well Ms. Kok. We'll now hand over to Mr. Mokoena. Honorable Midupi, I just want to check, is there something that you would want to say? Or I must go to the chat?
Oh, nothing, Chairperson. Just go to the chat. It's fine. Thanks.
Okay, no,
I wanted
thank you.
to register.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mokoena, you can then present and make sure that on matters of emphasis, you must not leave us behind.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to confirm that on behalf of the Commission, it's myself, Mr. M. Mokoena, Commissioner, and Mr. Finger. And I think the other two are from the department itself, the two members. And I firstly, I just like to say thank you for your presentation. Yesterday, it was the June 16. We were very much impressed of what is happening, but much needs to be done. We have not done what we are supposed to have done. It's now 50 years. And but hope, because at that stage in June it was my first year entry level in the university at school when that happened. But I'm happy that everything is sorted out now. Chair, I think I'm going to hand over to Mr. Finger to give us, our secretary, to give us a little bit of some reports. But I'm happy that the reports that you've just given to us on the Mkansi, the Botlana and whatever, we've been waiting for the Parliament to assist us in those regard. We are happy of what we are. Yeah, and at the same time, I would like to thank the Parliament, the committee, for assisting us, giving us the support in this regard. We are trying our best here, and surely you are not going to frustrate, and you know, the committee will do our best. Thank you. Mr. Finger will take over.
Just wait. Sorry, Chair, we just trying to.
Okay, Mr. Finger, while you're doing that, let me check. Samsung SM8256E, who are you? We are going to take you out.
Ma'am, it's Corlia Cook speaking from the Department of Justice. I do apologize. I was struggling linking this morning, so I'm on my official cell phone. I'm going to try and link from my laptop just now. But it's Corlia Cook from the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, ma'am.
Okay, we didn't want a ghost. You are welcome, ma'am. You can keep on that gadget, don't worry. I just wanted to confirm if it's somebody that we need to have in the meeting. And Mr. Finger, while I'm giving you to proceed, I want to acknowledge the legal advice from Parliament. And I don't see the name that we got here. Can you just say hi if you are there from the legal advice? Okay, seemingly they didn't join, but we do have their presentation. Over to you, Mr. Finger.
Thank you, Chair, and to honorable members. Secretariat, I'm not sure if you're going to fly the presentation or you're going to allow me to do that.
You are allowed to do that. Hence, you are a share host.
Okay. All right. I hope you can see, Chair. So let me start with the first matter of Mr. Naya. Desmond Naya, Chief Magistrate, Pretoria. As you may be aware, is currently under suspension for allegations of having received benefits from Bosasa to the value of 200,000. Chair, we happy to report that after a long battle, the matter has been finalized in the sense that evidence has been concluded. Unfortunately, that was in January, but we had an unfortunate incident where the evidence leader had to undergo a medical procedure and hence the delay. So the parties have only just recently exchanged their heads of arguments. And we also had another snag in the sense that the presiding officer was a magistrate at the time of appointment, but later on ascended to be a judge in the Western Cape. So it's a very busy bench. So the only available date, take into consideration the unavailability of the evidence leader, was the 5th of October for this matter to be finally concluded. That's where the oral arguments will be had, and we hope that soon thereafter this matter will be concluded. So that's progress there, because we're trying to deal with all these legacy matters. In terms of matter of Mr. Mkansi, I'm sorry, yes, you've just reported on it. It's a matter that has been on our books for a very long time, and we're happy to report that we finally made our recommendations to Parliament, and I think you've just alluded to the fact that the select committee has dealt with the matter, and it will now go on to the National Assembly, the portfolio committee, and their internal processes. So we're hoping that it will be finalized soon. You've also alluded to the matter of magistrate governor, where the commission finalized it some time back, and the select committee has also agreed with our recommendations. But unfortunately, and we understand that the portfolio committee has been stretched, in terms of other commitments. But as we speak, governor, unfortunately, has still not been concluded. It still needs to be concluded by the National Assembly. So that is where we are with the matter of governor, and I think we'll need all the assistance from your side. Take into account that we really don't want to put blame on the National Assembly. I'm sure it was circumstances beyond our control, but the unfortunate part is that she has not been removed after such a long time that we've concluded the matter. The next matter, Chair, is of Mr. Sin, suspended in 2023. You remember that he was charged for various counts, including threatening journalists and also being involved in crime intelligence matters as a magistrate. Chair, here, if I can just go straight to the update, is that unfortunately, we had a situation where the presiding officer had to recuse himself, and then we had to appoint another presiding officer who's a retired judge. We felt that perhaps a senior person, because that was always his issue, Mr. Sin. So we felt that with a senior person, this matter would proceed. Unfortunately, you would see that as soon as we appointed the new chairperson, who's retired judge for years, a pre-trial was arranged for the 17th of November 2025. And unfortunately, Mr. Sin did not attend. He indicated that he will not attend. And then the matter was also set down for 9 to 13 February at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. He attended the hearing but applied for the recusal of this new presiding officer. We're happy to report that that application was since dismissed, and the matter was set down for 20 to 24 April 2026. What happened in April is that Mr. Sin offered to plead guilty to one charge. Remember, he's facing 6 charges. This was not accepted by the commission, and then through his new legal representative, because previously one of the reports we've made is that he had changed legal representatives, in fact, removed his legal representative. So he came with a new attorney and a senior counsel. And once the offer to plead was rejected, he then sought an application for postponement. And his reasons was that he's got specialist medical report, and he's of the view that he's entitled to ask the minister to be released on ill health. And the presiding officer accepted granted the application and postponed the matter sine die, and granted Mr. Sin 30 days to apply to the minister. The 30 days, as per our calculation, expired on the 3rd of June. And unfortunately, from our side, we have not received that application, and through that will go to the minister. And on the basis of that, the commission did 2 things. One, even prior to the date, as soon as we got information that he sought another postponement in the April hearing, the ethics committee started a process where they recommended to the commission that he should be asked reasons why we should not suspend him without remuneration. The commission accepted that recommendation, and correspondence has been sent to Mr. Sin that he should provide reasons why his remuneration should not be withheld. The commission is busy processing that, and I think in a few days' time, a decision will be made on that aspect. With regard to his failure to meet the 30-day notice, we've already, through our evidence leader, contacted the presiding officer, who has indicated that he's currently overseas, but we had the stage where we are setting this matter down, possibly September, because the presiding officer is unavailable until August. Chair, if I can move on to matter of Mr. Nzimande, the Regional Court President KwaZulu-Natal. You would remember that he was charged for various counts for accepting money from allegations of accepting money from acting magistrates, as a benefit for granting them acting positions. Here also, if I go to the update immediately, we had a situation where the presiding officer had to, be released due to ill health. We then had to look for another presiding officer, and it's very difficult, Chair, to really get retired judges. They would mostly tell you that they are at a stage where they don't want to travel. So, and also in terms of the length of matters, they are not comfortable most of the time to deal with disciplinary hearings because their views that they take a long time. So finally, after a long struggle, Judge Makhafola was appointed, and then he arranged, a teams meeting with the legal teams in December to arrange for the resumption of the trial. Unfortunately, both teams were in agreement. With judge was also comfortable that the matter does not have to start de novo from scratch, and therefore all the transcriptions were available to the presiding officers and to the parties to satisfy themselves as to where the matter is. And the matter proceeded from 9 to 13 March 2026 in Durban. We were able to lead evidence there. It also proceeded from 4 to 7 May, and also 11 to 14 May, and 18 to 19 May. And this is really just in an attempt to finalize this matter. You see, that was a 3-week sitting, and this is something that we've not done before. And we also, so we were able to lead, a lot of witnesses, and we are at a stage where we really left with only 5 witnesses. And you'll see that the matter will now proceed next week from the 22nd of June to 4 of July. That's 2 weeks again. So we're very hopeful that the commission will close its case on this occasion. And the matter will then, depend on Mr. Nzimande's side. So another legacy matter that we're really just trying to make sure it's off our books. Chair, if I can move on to, Bodlani, you would recall that last time we reported that Ms. Bodlani has tendered a resignation after we served her with documents for, suspension of a salary. And that is where we are in terms of Bodlani. There's nothing further to report other than that she's no longer a judicial officer. I suppose in terms of procedure, I have not, I'm not sure what is the procedure in terms of removing it from our records in terms of reporting it further, whether both houses must now accept this report of Bodlani so that it's off our record, but we are subject to advice. So that is in as far as Bodlani. I think we've covered all. I don't think I've missed any.
Yeah, no, covered that.
All right. Yes, Chair. So that is in as far as the update. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the update, Mr. Finger and the collective. Can you then remove your slide, because now we're going to be handing over to Parliamentary Legal Advisor, Lehotlo Moshokwa, just to give us a synopsis, because we do have the document that they have worked on with regards to the matters before us. Legal Advisor, can you come in?
Morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Honorable Members, colleagues. My name is Lehotlo Moshokwa from Parliamentary Legal Services. We have been requested to provide a legal opinion on Magistrate Blose's suspension including the suspension of his remuneration or salary. When the committee met on the 25th of March, and when a decision was taken to adopt both the suspension of the salary and the suspension of his services, the court hadn't pronounced itself on the matter. He had approached the court on an urgent basis in order to interdict the Department of Justice as well as the Magistrate Commission from refraining from withholding his salary. He managed to get an order in his favor, in that on the 26th of March 2026, the court granted judgment in his favor to the effect that the department or the commission should refrain from withholding his salary. So his salary has now been reinstated, but the matter is still going to be heard again. It was part A and part B. Part A was the interdict, and part B, which is still going to be set down for hearing, relates to him challenging the actual suspension. So that the suspension itself, the court hasn't pronounced on it. So it is only the issue relating to his remuneration. We have provided a legal opinion to that effect, and I am confident that each and every member has gotten a copy thereof and had gone through. That is the extent to which our legal advice stands. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. I think you are all asking yourself, why did I ask the legal advisor to actually come in? Is because of, I think they are busy with other matters. So I didn't want to lose him, because even for them to join in, we had to call them because they are actually assisting many committees with regards to their services. Now, Mr. Finger, we will then proceed with regards to the briefing by the parliament. The matter with regards to Blose from your side, anything that you would want to say before we get note hands for members?
Yes, Chair. Chair, from the last briefing, I think it was in April when you invited the department and the commission. One of the questions that was raised and we had to respond to, and I think the response will still come from the department, which we assisted in, in giving information, was whether Parliament was cited as, did we raise an issue of a non-joinder of Parliament? And there was uncertainty, and then we undertook to check. When we came back, and I can report that, Chair, the issue of non-joinder of Parliament was not raised, and you will see in the correspondence that will come to say it's really an oversight, and it's something that will not happen again in the future. It really could, if one can, find reasons. Of course, the ultimate person is the legal counsel that should advise. But also, it's one of the things that from the commission, we're engaging with the department in terms of capacitation. So we don't have any internal legal advisor that could have picked on some of those things. But like I said, issues of capacity of the commission are with the department now in terms of, there are various issues, areas where we need capacity, because I think to rely on the department's legal advisors, they are already overburdened, I'm sure stretched. And also one must also appreciate that we're a unique organization, so they may not necessarily serve us at the best, because we are a unique organization. So you need your own legal advisors that understand our environment. So yeah, it was an oversight, but in part B, I don't think all is lost. We will raise it as we proceed with part B of the review, but with the interdict, that was not done. What I can also add with Blose, Chair, is that the disciplinary hearing is proceeding on Monday for and it's only 3 witnesses, and we hoping that it will be finalized very soon, the disciplinary hearing, whilst we're still busy with the review. That is all I wanted to add. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Finger and your collective. Any remarks, Tate Mokoena, before I note the hands of members on the platform? Mr. Mokoena?
Can you hear me, Chair? Thank you.
You are muted. I can hear you. Then switch off the...
Yeah, thank you. What I can say that on the issue of Blose, I'm confident that yes, indeed, he managed to get an order in his favor on the first part, but definitely on the second part, he's not going to be in the position to proceed with that. And we are definitely sure that if our disciplinary hearing for the next coming week comes into effect and it's proceeded, he's not going to make it. And I'm rest assured, Chair, I've been in the appointments committee, and I'm definitely sure what he said during those questions, and he misled the appointments committee, and I'm just confident that this matter will come to finality, unlike other matters. That's what I can just say. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, no, thank you, Mr. Mokoena. We are noting and appreciating the work that has been done to date. And we are appreciating the fact that the commission itself is appreciating the cooperation and the involvement of the Select Committee of Security and Justice, because we know these were legacy reports that we felt that in our lifetime and in our time, they must not be the backlog. So we are very happy about the work that has been done by the commission. And we are noting that you do need our help as well with regards to the issue of Mr. Govenda. Oh, Ms. Govenda will surely assist you as the Select Committee to ensure that it passes through. We are noting what you have said to us with regards to the report of Singh and as well the delays that are taking place with regards to this matter. And we hope that we are learning as well with this case that sometimes these delays are the ones that are causing us more work and taxpayers. With the issue of Magistrates in Zemande, I'm noting that the matter as well is with regards to delays. And we note that in your work on your backstage or where you do and find strategies of resetting, reshaping, you would learn with this case in terms of how do you make sure that they don't impede to your work in terms of these times delays. Because we know justice delayed is justice denied, as members always like to say. Members, I want to sincerely apologize about the agenda that was sent and the one that we have reworked. And I think the apology will suffice on the basis that even the updates members have been given through their emails. So everything is in order from our side in terms of sending all the documents. And I note that other members, some of the documents, they don't appear on their email as like the legal advisors summary. And I want to confirm that we do have the summary in our emails, some of us. But with time, we would ensure that the clumsiness and everything that is not happening right today, we will deal with it with the staff to ensure that we continue with our professionalism as we've been doing as the committee. So, as I said, I've opened for hands, for comments, clarity-seeking questions with matters that we've been dealing with on issues of the Magistrate Commission and the issue of Blose. Over to you, members. There's a hand that I see of Brendan Williams.
Let me start
Before, okay. Mr. Mokoena, you want to come in? Dr. Phala, can you mute?
No, Chair, I'm not. I don't want to come.
Dr. Phala, can you? Okay, thank you, Dr. Phala. You are muted. Brendan Williams, can I just take your hand first before I note members?
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. I'm from the Office of the Deputy Minister, Andries Nel. I just want to perhaps inform the Select Committee that Mr. McKenzie, that is currently also the matter before the Select Committee. Mr. McKenzie submitted on the 14th of May, submitted an application to the Minister to vacate office, they call eczema, to vacate office, eczema early retirement. He's 56 years old. So in practice, what will happen if we receive a request like that, we submit it to the Honourable Regional Court President as well as the Magistrates Commission. We've received the recommendation of the Magistrate of the Regional Court President. I know it was before the Magistrates Commission on the 25th and I think 26th of May. And as far as I'm aware, they must still make a recommendation to the Minister in terms of the request from Mr. McKenzie to vacate office because, well, for any reason, and his reason that he's mentioned here is that he didn't mean anything about the proceedings currently before Parliament, the fact that he's been found guilty in a criminal court. He didn't mention anything about that. All that he have mentioned is the fact that his remuneration has been stopped, I think, since April, and that he's battling financially. And that is now the reason why he's requesting to vacate office for any other reason that the Minister deems necessary. Thank you, Chair. But that must still be considered once we receive the recommendation of the Magistrates Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for the update, and I hope members have noted that, and we would indeed await for the update from the Commission. Now I'm noting hands from members. You can lower your hand, Mr. Williams. Thank you. It's Honorable Nicholas and Honorable Gerik and Honorable Noe. Over to you, Honorable Gotsa.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to the honourable members and also the guests to the committee today. Chairperson, yeah, I mean, whilst I note the work that is going in to address the backlog of cases, I want to say that I just don't feel that actually these matters are really receiving the attention that they should be receiving. You know, if we look at Mr. Nair's matter, you know, the matter was heard early in the year and then it gets postponed until October. Now I hear that I think it was in that matter that the chairperson is a magistrate who was elevated to the bench. But, you know, I mean, I really think, for example, I mean, the High Court goes into recess for like 5 weeks in June and July, just like Parliament. I don't see how these long delays should take matters that are already very, very old any further, and especially when the charges are so egregious or serious. And then, Chairperson, and so perhaps the question there is just, you know, clarity on why that matter is only set down for oral argument in October, because then already we know that if it's only being heard for oral argument in October, then I suppose the matter will only come to fruition at the beginning of next year. And then there was the comment, I think 2 comments now about, sorry, I can't remember which magistrate it was, that said that where it is said that they are applying to be released because the one due to ill health and the other due to retirement. But I don't, and whilst that will certainly address the length it takes to finalize these matters, I'm not entirely sure that that it should just simply stop the disciplinary matters against them. I mean, there's a reason why they are charged. I'm not sure. Perhaps we can have an explanation on whether it will have an effect on their pension or any other or whether any other outcome will have an effect on their pension or salaries. But being boarded or being released from your duties because of ill health, in lieu of answering to disciplinary charges, just doesn't sit well with me. And the same with the magistrate who's going on early retirement. I mean, how does that then address the issue of the charges against them? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kotzel. And indeed, your questions are actually thought-provoking. And as well, I think the Commission, it is assisting the Commission to look at these loopholes that we are having, because we are learning that some, they go for resignation on the basis that they don't want to account. So what you are asking, I think it actually assists us on what we think that it's something that needs to be arrested in this system with regards to those who are doing wrong things and then use the other tactics to ensure that they don't account. Honorable Gerik.
Chairperson, good morning. Good morning to the guests and good morning to the colleagues. Chair, I'm going to be very brief. I apologize first and foremost for logging in later than usual because I have some problems with the device and also with the conditions here. So having said that, I'm asking you to exempt me from the showing the picture because I have some problems here. If that is in order with you, Chairperson.
You are exempted. Over to, you can continue.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, just in the most simplest, humble way that I can put it respectfully, this committee is not an extension of the Commission. This committee is Parliament, representing Parliament. So, and I say this respectfully, we cannot just condone or confirm decisions by the Commission whilst we take note of the presentations done by the Commission this morning. But I react on your forward before you have given the chance to us to say that we are satisfied. This committee is not an extension of the Commission. The second point, Chairperson, we are Parliament. And the second point is, I note what the gentleman has said, the colleague has said, with regard to some of the cases there, and he also gave us the assurance that the last case that he was addressing was watertight, and that he knows the statements that have been submitted, and so on and so on. There is this saying where they say nothing is guaranteed in law, and by us most probably accepting that statement will put us on the wrong side, because it will prove, if we accept it, it will prove that this committee is acting with prejudice and bias, because the matter still has to be proved through the hearing or through a court of law. And until such time that all remedies have been exhausted, we may not have an opinion. On that, we may not say it's good or bad. And then lastly, Chairperson, we call on the Commission and also everybody that's a role player to give us some quality work, and the work that they produce, that we will have a great measure of success when it comes to the courts and when cases are taken on review or appeal, like in the matter of Blose. The matter of Blose, this is exactly the judgment there, or the ruling there is exactly what we have submitted to this committee. And we must be truthful and honest to one another. When we bring work here, then we must have done proper research in all angles of the law, so that this committee, when this committee makes a decision or endorse a decision of any commission, that this committee is clear in its mind, in its heart, that this committee has been given the right advice in terms of the legal process, and so that we can then also recommend on that basis. If not, Chairperson, we are on the wrong side, we expose ourselves, and we will not be a favorable committee if we only endorse what the Commission or any other body will propose to us. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Honorable Kharik. I think before I give to Honorable Noe, I just need to indicate that whatever that I'm saying, it's not it's not my personal view. Just last week, we adopted all these reports, and we've been adopting the reports, taking note and taking place on the work that has been done by the Commission. As much as we have issues with regards to inconsistencies that you are indicating, and what Honorable Gotzel have indicated with regards to the delay, the times that they are spending in dealing with other matters, that doesn't mean that we must not acknowledge the work that has been done. And I don't think that we are doing anything wrong. And whatever that you are thinking that perhaps we acting as if we are an extension of the Commission, it's very wrong. And I want to reject it with all its angles that it deserves, that we can't be. Oversight and accountability, it's about scrutinizing and as well advising and recommending and following through what you have recommended. So far, whatever that I was saying, it was on the basis that whatever that we've been doing as the work of the committee in terms of oversight and accountability, 1, 2, 3 has been done and we are satisfied about it. So raising your issue without painting us with a blank paint, I don't think it sits well with me as the chairperson. But we are noting the concerns that you have just raised, and I think you must be honest as well that every time when we deal with these issues where we need parliamentary advice, we always make sure that we have the legal advice of Parliament to come and advise on issues. So I don't want this process to be recorded as if we are just a youth forum or elderly forum where we don't bring parties or stakeholders that seeks to assist us to do our work properly as parliamentarians. I just wanted to make that note before I hand over to Honorable Noe. Honorable Noe, over to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm not sure. I don't see myself. Am I visible? Or
you are not.
My camera was off.
you look proper now.
Yeah, my camera was off.
Okay, over to
hello?
you. On the line, over to you. Can continue. Honorable Medupi, order.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair, honorable members and our guests and the staff members. Chair, without really entering in your space as far as the initial statement of Honorable Kharik, the one of the extension of the committee, I had also an interest maybe if the honorable member, even if it's not now, I think it is important to understand his angle and the areas where he feels that probably the committee might be looked as if it is an extension. But if it's not for debate now, you have already responded to it, but I think at our own side as the committee, we can still look into that so that we understand from the angle where he is coming from. Chair, from another angle, I will agree partly with what the honorable members who spoke before me have commented on the cases. My first comment, Chair, is in relation with, we are dealing with legal people with legal background and very deep in understanding the law. What came to me when I was reading to these cases, I think, is that the committee must note that, or can note that in actual fact, the space, indeed.
Honorable Noe, can you switch off the
The
The camera.
Okay. That they playing legal delay tactics, and that is costly to the department and everyone else is involved who becomes involved in the processing of their cases, and that must call upon for the department and the commission to look into that area. By way of what I'm going to suggest, that considering what Honorable Gorsel has said, in terms of handling these cases and reasons that sometimes they contribute to the delay around availability of presiding officers or evidence leaders, you rely on people who are already having their other jobs to do until they are available. Whether it is not possible within the commission to have a dedicated, I don't know what you will call it, but a dedicated unit of people who are not necessarily on daily work, as it were, but who can be dedicated to deal with these matters and process them fast, because there are delay, as I said in my earlier introductory statement, that they really cost a lot as far as the affected structures to deal with just one case, up to where we are considering those cases. The last one, Chair, I just want to check on the case of Mr. Bodlani, or Magistrate Bodlani. There's two statements, if I listened well, and looking at the submission there, that he is on. He's no longer an official of the department, but at the same time, there is a statement that says his remuneration must be withheld. Are we referring to remuneration or pensions or what? And there's a question that says whether we should bury the case because the magistrate is no longer an official. So I just want to establish clarity there from the presenter. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Nowe. Honorable Pirwana, I see that your hand has looked. Okay, over to you, Tate Para.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, honorable members, and good morning to the commissioners and the senior officials of the department, from the department. Chair, let me as well just re-emphasize on what my colleagues have said here. Or let me start by acknowledging the work done by the commission, and acknowledge the condition under which they are operating, and the challenges they are facing. And they're facing very two areas which Honorable Noah has just mentioned here: unavailability of retired judges, and the second one being the detailing syndrome of delaying these matters, so that members can remain in the system and remain being remunerated for doing nothing. These are the fault lines in the system. I would echo what Honorable Noah is saying here, that the department should look into this thing and see how to deal with it. Because we cannot continue having people who are earning while they are not at work. I mean, if you look at the case of Mr. Sen, which started 2023, the man is taking advantage of the system and is abusing the system. So I would really say the department should look into it and come with a system which can assist. As Honorable Noah has indicated, that a dedicated unit which can deal with this. We cannot be just relying on retired judges who are stretched. We know there are many of them are stretched. They are involved in these commissions and many other things. So I would as well propose that let's speak to the minister to look into this thing and find a way of establishing a unit which can assist us. With the matter of laws, I think it's very clear at Chair. It's already been mentioned here that in fact the parliamentary unit has given us a report which I think many of us have gone through it. We are happy about what they have presented here. We are looking forward for the department to deal with the remaining part, which they are confident that they will deal with it. But if they can please make sure that these things are done within a short space of time. That's what I will say, Chair. I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Pala. Now I would hand over to the Commission to respond, but on other matters that were raised as concern, like the one that I've addressed with regards to has been an extension, don't respond. Just continue with questions and inputs. And I think one must note that when the committee is suggesting that we must have dedicated units, they are not perhaps speaking about a new department or whatever. You can find ways of ensuring that we have a dedicated person who deals with certain issues that we find as impeding to your work and making us to delay in terms of having positive impact with regards to the work that we are doing. So we know, all of us, that all departments have issues with regards to the budget. So I don't think that when members are suggesting, they are actually saying that let's make a unit, but they are just suggesting to your good self that let's have strategies in place or a person dealing with things that they think that they are of concern to them. So when you respond, bear that in mind, that we have noted issues that you have related, Mr. Finger, on issues of incapacitation in your area, but it is important that when you respond, you share what you think that members can assist you with when on our platforms of lobbying and advocacy, that 1, 2, 3 it's needed by your good selves to ensure that you do your work seamlessly. So thank you. Over to you, Magistrate Commission. And Tate Phala, is it a legacy hand or you want to speak again?
No, that's a legacy hand, I'll wait. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tate Phala. Over to you, Mr. Mokoena, you're the team.
Thanks, Chair. Let me start with Honorable Gotzel. In terms of Mr. Naya's case, I think the question is, why October? And I think this is the difficulty with disciplinary hearings. They are really outside of Commission's control because we've got an independent chairperson who's responsible for directing matters, and we would really have got no say. So this is what parties looked at in the hearing, and from our side, I did say that we contributed in the sense that our evidence leader was only available, I think, from June, from that period. She had to go for a long, ill health attention. And the legal team was only indicated that they will only be able to respond in July, to our written submissions. And like I said, the chairperson then looked at this diary, and the only available date was in October. So it's really something that was outside of our control. But we do accept that, of course, it took longer than what we would have required. The issue of Mr. Sin, him having requested a postponement based on ill health. One of the issues I've mentioned is that subsequent to that, we then issued an OD letter to him because precisely we felt that it's one of the delaying tactic. That is why we had to send an OD letter and ask him why should he receive remuneration whilst he's on suspension, purely because we could trace back a couple of postponements that were due to him, whether he was removing legal representative or raising points in limines whilst he was warned to put them in writing. We would raise them from the floor. There were also pre-trials that were disrupted, according to our view. It was his from his side, the fault was from his side. So we've listed all those things. But I think we did oppose the application, and when we take a point that indeed it will not augur well that whilst we have all these serious charges that the issue of ill health perhaps takes priority. It shouldn't be like that. But yes, like I said, these are matters that are outside our control as a presiding officer who we do not have control over. So he, in his own wisdom, postponed the matter, Sinadi, and gave him 30 days. But as I indicated, once we realized that he has not met that, we immediately sought to set it down, which is what we're doing. So we are on top of it. As I said, these are legacy matters that we just want of our our records. In terms of the matter of Mr. Mkanzi, I can report that Commission has sent communication, and I'm sure it's still being processed in the department, to indicate that we are not recommending that he should be given early retirement on the basis that the matter is before Parliament for his removal. So it would really be not in order that he's allowed early retirement whilst the matter is in Parliament for his removal. So the position of the Commission is that the Minister must refuse that early retirement. We've taken note of the comments by Honorable Godsell, and I think from our side, all we can say is that we were just stating the position of the Commission, not preempting what will happen, but this is the position of the Commission on the matter of Blose, and also just to indicate that the ruling in terms of interdict, we didn't want to go into much details. Yes, there were some negative remarks towards the Commission, but it would really not serve any purpose because we're going for Part B. And we do have our way of answering to those comments. We're not perturbed. We think we're on comfortable ground on that matter. In terms of the issues raised by Honorable Powe, I think we take note of that. What we have submitted to the department in terms of capacitation is, in terms of dealing with complaints and ethics matters, internally also in the Commission, from the Secretariat, we're looking for dedicated people just to deal with complaints because they are really flooding us. And in terms of also organization of meetings for the ethics committee. So those are some of the inputs we've sent to the department. There have been discussions in terms of utilizations of having a list of or a database of retired magistrates that we can use for disciplinary hearings, rather than relying on people that are on active duty, because we think that active magistrates may not necessarily be engaged just like your retired judges. So it is something that we will take back, from this meeting to the Commission and say, this is something that needs to be sped up. What it will involve is that the Deputy Minister will have to be roped in terms of appointing these magistrates as active magistrates to deal with, to assist us with disciplinary hearings. So, in terms of the questions that were raised by Honorable Powe, yes, Miss, what we were trying to state was that there was in December or November where we issued a letter to Ms. Bodlani asking her why we should not, determined to suspend her remuneration. So whilst the hearing was going on and we were, busy with calling witnesses, she then sought a postponement on the basis that she's going to ask for a resignation. And eventually the discussions led to a point where she actually now was not even asking for a postponement, but actually submitted a resignation. So she's no longer, we no longer consider remuneration, taking her remuneration, because she's no longer an official of the department or a magistrate, so to speak. And two, I think the question was to say, now that she's no longer an official, what are we still, would we be still required going forward to report on her because she's no longer on the system? So I think the last comment that I was just trying to make was, at what point do we then get indication that Ms. Bodlani, you no longer need to report, because the requirement is that you report what if she's on suspension. So she's no longer an official, a magistrate, and therefore I think the question was to say, at what point is it when this report also served in the National Assembly and we are released from that responsibility? And I think that was just the question at the end. And I think we've taken note of the comments from Honorable Pala. I'm not sure if I've missed anything. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I don't think you've missed. What we could indicate is that if we can, from the presentation that the Secretary has submitted to the Minister, the department, regarding the beefing up of the division, I think it's high time that we need to get dedicated an official who will be dealing directly with with these ethics matters. Say, for an example, the applications, the suspensions, the agent applications, and all those things. I think it will be fair that we have that dedicated, individual to assist us, and so that we can just try to facilitate these matters, because we are dealing with legal minds here, and we all see that the delays are not because of reasons beyond our control, but because these people, they know what they are doing. So it will be fair that in the event such matters are brought to the attention of the commission, and we have dedicated individuals can attend to brief the state attorney and on agent basis, and that these matters be done fairly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Magistrate Commission. I'm not sure, Honorable, let me see, Honorable Noah's, okay, noted, Honorable Noah. As well, on my side, I was noting the other name and I didn't want to interject. Honorable Finger. Okay, Mr. Finger. Honorable Noah is not Pinowe, it's Honorable Noah. So, Okopa, when you name him, you must use Noah accordingly, because I didn't want to interject when you were busy Pinowe or what you were saying. So I thought it's only me on my side that I was actually listening to you in that way. I think where we are now, we got clarity responses from your good selves, and one would want to emphasize that members are employing to your good selves that please make sure that you find best solutions in dealing with the concerns that they have raised, to ensure that we do what we are about in terms of our mandate as the commission and as well as the public sector with regards to the matters before us. We are noting with fairness your matters that you have raised on capacity, and I think it's what we would need to put forth to the executive, that they must look on those issues in terms of where ensuring that you are well capacitated to deal with this matter. We know that people have been roped in now in our courts, those that qualify for some of the position. If we still have vacancies, vacancies must be opened and young people must apply. Those who are graduate and having experience to come and assist you. We are, from my side, I'm satisfied by the fact that you are not rejecting what members are saying. You are actually accepting it as counsel to say that what is it that you need to do from your side in terms of ensuring that there's proper management of cases, there's consequence management of those who try to, just take a U-turn or while they are not fit to even go through that through the eye of the needle, to just pass through. So, and I think our committee is employing to your good selves that whether it's health issues or other matters that others have decided to just want to resign, we must ensure that consequence management is followed through in and out. And I think, Mr. Finger, you are actually saying that indeed, in terms of the law, when a person is no longer within the system, you cannot deal with that particular person. But Honorable Godson is employing that if things are done fastly, as supposed to, I don't think other people would even find that loophole of going, without dealing with issues that needs their own responsibility and accountability. So we really need to find ways, if it's regulations that needs to be reviewed or policies, let's find ways so that not anybody can go, scot-free without accounting to their deeds. Because for other issues, some of the things are happening and are used as precedents on the basis that other magistrates have just went scot-free without the money being followed through. So we are employing to your good selves. And I know that people who are employed in the commission are people of high caliber. So let's apply public management in terms of what is it that we need to do to ensure that we bring best practices. I know in all our work, in our areas, we all go for benchmarking with regards to things that we think that they are off challenge and in other areas are done better. So employ what you are learning when you go and engage with your learned friends in terms of how they deal with these issues and bring here in our system so that we ensure that there's nothing that imputes to your work. And I like the fact that Honorable Gerik always sometimes emphasize on the issue of fairness. And when I'm listening to your good selves, that's what you always apply as an applicability, that you want to ensure that all processes, there are no malicious compliance or manipulation of processes. You follow the legalities to the core. So let's make sure that as we do this work, it's not because of face value, but it's about the law and order and the rules that you are applying when you execute your work as the commission. We acknowledge the clarity as well in terms of the work of the independent commission. But I think as last time when I was adopting actually the report, taking the report through the NCOP, I actually acknowledge the fact that other members from this select committee, they sit on joint standing committees that deals with these issues at the core. So whatever that you have said, Mr. Finger, then gives them an assignment to say when they are on those particular platforms, they need to raise your frustrations and things that you are dealing with. As Honorable Pala could have said that, the work that you are doing is not just an easy work. You people need to employ, strategies, best strategies to ensure that they come with best suited solutions. So hence, when you are reporting to us as opposed to as you did today with regards to quarterly reports, we some of us were acknowledging, but giving as well advices on what needs to be done. And I don't think that you need to feel otherwise. And I hope you are taking consent of other members as well. And there's nothing wrong about acknowledging that as a select committee, we are assisting you to fast track your work so that we make sure that we don't have backlog. Because as this committee, when we started, we said we want to employ to your good selves that there's zero backlog on the basis that you have projected to us that you have now a strategy of dealing with these issues even over the weekend, where you lock yourselves in an area booked 24/7 to ensure that you deal with the issues. So I don't think that acknowledging cooperation of each other then makes us to be partners. But let's hope that members would, when we debate these issues throughout all our platforms, will ensure that we unearth what we think that it's not being done properly. It must be done in 1, 2, 3 way, without painting other people. Otherwise, as I said, there's no better word that I can say, but I was a little bit uncomfortable about what I have noted while there was comment during this particular discussion. But with that being said, and Tate Mokoena, I want to hand over to your good selves, and then I would then allow your good self to leave the platform while we deal with the one-stop host border bill. And then we would continue as members while you leave us. Mr. Mokoena, over to you. Your mic has been just on. I don't know for what.
Thank you, Chair. I thank you for the report, the advice, and we appreciate what we've got from you today. And surely, and as the commission, we are trying our best to make it a point that we adhere to, the concerns of the community, especially regarding these issues of presiding officers being involved in whatever and being charged and nothing is done within the short space of time. But surely, if you get the support from the department, and you could understand most of the members that are in the ethics committee are independent, attorneys, advocates, and even members of the community. So, but we try our best that we give ourselves time to can attend to this. And with the support of the department, Mr. Finger and his department, they are doing quite a very important job so that we get the information at hand, discuss that, and we hope that in the near future we'll upgrade what is happening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ntate Mokoena, and your collective. You can now leave the platform. But Mr. Finger, please note that we would need an update of that Audi letter that has been sent, so that we don't wait for the meeting to be called. Just keep us abreast with whatever that you think that we would need to get before even the commission come before us. You can now leave the platform.
Thank you. God bless.
Samsung, you can leave the platform. Buzelo, can you check for me if everyone who's supposed to be on the platform is on the platform, and those who are supposed to exit, they've exited?
I'll do so.
Can we proceed, or we still have people? Colleagues, you can just have a 5-minute stretch because Department of Home Affairs has not yet joined. So we'll just indicate as soon as they are online. update you on the next meeting where we need your opinion. For now, it's about the submission that they have been summarized by our researcher.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you. I don't want you to say we have ambushed you. So I know you're not invited for this part. That is why I'm releasing you.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Honorable members, as I have indicated, we're still struggling to get hold of Home Affairs representative. And I think that we can now proceed with the meeting, because for today's meeting, our responsibility is to receive the briefing from the content advisor on the written submissions on OSBP Bill B12B 2024, Section 75. So I don't think that we can wait for long. We're taking note that we have received the first briefing on this bill on the 18th of February 2026. There were several delays during the advertisement of the bill, which related to the service provider, with the results that the written submissions deadline closed on Friday, 12 June 2026. However, sufficient time was provided to all to make their written submissions. The committee received 6 written submissions, 4 from individuals and 2 from organizations, with one of those being a joint submission from Scalabrini Center and the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Officer. The content advisor will present an overview of the written submission received. Members also received a document containing the summary of submissions on the bill in preparation for this meeting. After the presentation, as a committee, we then need to decide whether we proceed to public hearings or move straight to the responses from the department and legal advisors in the further processing of this particular bill. So with that being said, I want to hand over to you, Anthea.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Members. Chair, I want to share the slide presentation. So is it okay if I turn my video off?
It's okay, you can continue. At least we see you are not on PJs.
Thank you, Chair. Let me just share. Okay, and then there we go. Are you able to see the slides, Chair?
We are clear.
Okay. So, honorable members and chairperson, the chairperson already took us through the first part, that I was just going to talk to some of the delays that happened. But just to emphasize that the bill was published on Parliament's electronic platforms, and then it was also advertised in 2 national newspapers and 9 provincial newspapers covering all official languages. So, we actually closed the submissions this past Friday, and members then received the summary of submissions, which are collated, as well as today's presentation. So today's presentation, I'm just going to go through first some of the general recommendations that were made, and then some of the substantive recommendations which speak more to where organizations and or individuals then made commendations around changes to actual clauses in the bill. So just briefly around the general recommendations, Bakani Tabiri is a border guard. He said that the committee and the department should address poorly secured border lines, improve coordination among border stakeholders, prevent unauthorized movement through V-gates and smaller border gates, and that the committee should in fact conduct oversight visits, which we know as a committee we are doing at border posts. Nkosiskona Ngozo, he says that we must improve home affairs systems across African countries, strengthen migration management systems, develop alternatives to frequent passport stamping and renewals, address the administrative inefficiencies that contribute to irregular migration, and that African countries should generally improve the efficiencies of the home affairs systems, strengthen migration management processes, and explore alternatives to frequent passport stamping. Shepo Palazzi, this commentator did general recommendations as well as substantive recommendations. So under his general recommendations, he said to strengthen safeguards against identity fraud and the use of marriages. This commentator in fact referred to sham marriages, which is then used to obtain access to immigration benefits. He also suggested improving identity verification systems, enhance cross-border information sharing, and preserve reliable immigration records. Anile actually submitted a paper. It was like a written paper that he had done around one-stop border posts. And so he said that we should expand the one-stop border posts along major African trade corridors, harmonize customs policies and border procedures, develop integrated border management systems, establish joint operational procedures, create governance, financing, monitoring and evaluation frameworks, improve data sharing systems, and adopt international border management standards. The Scalabrini Center and the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office, this is the joint submission that the chairperson referred to. So some of these general recommendations you will see later on also in the substantive recommendations. So they emphasize the importance of including combating corruption as an objective of the bill, that explicit reference should be made to constitutional rights and international law obligations. We should look at improving the protection of vulnerable groups, increase signage and information for asylum seekers and migrants, ensure social worker support at border posts, and improve awareness regarding stateless persons. They also went into some specific recommendations that the department should explore the inclusion of legislative mechanisms to effectively address corruption in all its guises, and that section 31C 2I should also be amended to include the persons under Chapter 2 of the Constitution and the public international law obligations, including reference to the rights and interests of vulnerable groups, including victims of trafficking, refugees, and asylum seekers. They also recommended that the department should consult with the UNHCR and other stakeholders when devising bilateral treaties with regard to protection-sensitive entry systems to ensure non-refoulement obligations are fulfilled. They also made a comment on the model, the public-private partnership model, and they said that they recommend that counter-corruption measures and data protection safeguards should be included in the context of the public-private partnership. Agri-SA also commented on the bill, and Agri-SA supports the bill in principle and requests that the committee ensure that the final framework adequately addresses agricultural trade, biosecurity, and operational requirements, and that the committee should ensure that implementation prioritizes key agricultural trade corridors and includes clear service standards for the movement of perishable goods. Further, that the committee should ensure that there's proper coordination between departments, specifically including the Department of Agriculture, and that structured engagement with organized agriculture is provided for. So now we move on to the substantive recommendations. So this is in respect of certain clauses that the commentators recommended. So the first clause is clause 1, which deals with definitions in the bill. The Scalabrini Center and Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office recommends that the definitions section is amended to include definitions of unaccompanied children, separated children, asylum seekers, human trafficking, and statelessness, and that these terms are referred to expressly in the bill, wherein the definitions will serve to improve the understanding when referenced in the bill. Moving on to clause 3, which deals with common control zones, the same two organizations in terms of the joint submission. They say that section 3(1)(c) may be approved upon. So what they are then suggesting is, if you go to the bold section on that slide, the addition of 3I to ensure the application of fundamental human rights and protection under Chapter 2 of the Constitution, including the rights and protection and processing of asylum seekers, refugees, children, survivors of human trafficking or torture, stateless persons, and other vulnerable individuals, to be include the supremacy of the Constitution in the bill, instead of merely including this in the memorandum on the objects of the bill. Also, in terms of clause 3, the same two organizations recommend the amendment to section 3(1)(c)(2)(i) of the bill to explicitly provide for compliance with the 48-hour maximum for detention before appearing before court, and provides for release in instances where this would be in the interest of justice to do so. Members will recall that we dealt with this in the immigration bill. In terms of clause 3, Agri-SA recommends that the committee should ensure that the bill and its regulations clearly provide for strong biosecurity measures aligned with existing animal and plant health legislation, including coordinated veterinary and phytosanitary controls. Clause 4, that clause deals with the application of border law enforcement. So Agri-SA, the committee should emphasize the need for alignment of sanitary and phytosanitary standards and ensure that clear operational guidelines are developed for users. On this clause, Sherpa Palazzi also recommended that the committee ensure that agreements and later regulations provide for detailed operating standards on identity verification, the handling of refusals, information sharing, and complaint mechanisms. He emphasizes that these matters are important because border enforcement decisions may later affect immigration status, residence applications, and the integrity of later legal processes. Clause 5, the application of criminal laws. The Scalabrini Center and the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office made a comment on this and recommended that section 5(1) of the bill should be amended to refer to non-political criminal office. And there they give a suggestion of how that particular section should then be amended. This would then be for the department to respond to in a further meeting, Chairperson. Clause 6 deals with the movement of goods or money within common control zone for official purposes. Agri-SA, agricultural goods are often highly perishable and sensitive to delays. The provision should be made in the regulatory framework for the prioritization of processing of perishable agricultural goods supported by appropriate inspection capacity and infrastructure. Moving on to clause 7, which is the obligation to readmit. Here, it was also the Scalabrini Center and the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office. So they say that section 7 should be amended to make provision for section 21, subsection 4 of the Refugees Act, read with article 31 of the 1951 Refugee Convention, prohibiting the penalization of unlawful entry or presence of anyone seeking asylum. Hence, section 7, subsection 1 and subsection 2 would be subjected to a subsection 3, which should state, so they're recommending the wording, that the Republic is required to apply refugee law and customary international law to ensure that protection is provided to asylum seekers and stateless people, and that these individuals are not returned or readmitted regardless of the legality of entry. In clause 7 also, the obligation to readmit, Sherpa Palazzi says that a stronger clause or regulation should require an auditable record of the data, place grounds for refusal or readmission, and the authority responsible for the decision. This would help reduce disputes between states, support later legal review when necessary, and create a reliable evidentiary trail for future immigration and border-related matters. Clause 8 deals with regulations. Shepo Palazzi said, because so much of the practical system will depend on the regulations, Parliament should consider requiring minimum subjects to be covered in those regulations rather than leaving all important details open-ended. At a minimum, the regulations should address record keeping, access to information, complaint procedures, detention standards where applicable, data sharing safeguards, anti-corruption measures, and procedures for detection of document fraud and identity fraud. These subjects are closely connected to the Bill's own scheme of border law enforcement, criminal law application, and readmission. Chairperson, this brings me to my concluding remarks. As mentioned earlier, the substantive comments, you will note that there are several in terms of recommendations to amend certain clauses which the department would then have to respond to. As the chair has already indicated, the committee is now at the point where the committee needs to decide if it's satisfied with the content of the written submissions, whether the committee would like to host public hearings, alternatively to receive the responses to the written submissions from the department and legal advisors. Thank you, Chair. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Anthea, for your submission with regards to the one-stop border post bill, B12B 2024. And I know that members have went through this particular summary, and we want to acknowledge your inputs and work done with regards to you summarizing it for us to follow through on the work that needs to happen from us as members of parliament. Members are now open for comments and clarity seeking questions with regards to the presentation. Okay, I can only see the one hand of Honorable Noe. Honorable Noe, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. I think you exempted me from showing the handsome face. I will not show it now.
You are online order.
Chair, thanks for the presentation. I still stand on the protocol we established earlier. And thanks for the work done to summarize these presentations. At least I've gone through them one by one. And indeed, we appreciate those who took time to read the bill and made those submissions that they have made. It's very encouraging. My first comment, I understood like Mr. Tabet is an official. If it is
yes,
so,
you're correct. You're correct.
Okay, I'm not sure whether officials are at some stage regarded as members of the public, or they can comment within, or as private members. I'm not sure whether that is proper, just as an advice, Chair, and not necessarily that I reject what he's saying. And then my question on his, just to understand the issue of the V gates, because probably he's making his comments based on, of course, insight and information that he knows. And we don't know what he could have probably submitted or understand to be weaknesses within the system as he's inside, whether he did raise them before and then whether they were ignored and so on, or whether they have been given space within the BMA to make submissions. on what they consider to be weaknesses. And then, Chair, it could have been probably a lot of work for Anthea and the team to go into what I will have thought probably on areas where there are suggestions to amend the bill. It's like in the substantive recommendations, clause 7, I will use that one as an example. Obligation to readmit by SCCT and CPLO. Whether the suggested change or inclusion of that paragraph where they suggest that those stateless, referred to people as stateless, the new term to me, stateless people, that they can be returned, not be, or readmitted regardless of the legality of the entry, whether such a thing is permissible, is possible legally, that you just ignore because people are stateless. What does that mean? Does it mean you therefore they become now your people because you take them as stateless? Is there such a term of stateless people? So my underlying was that perhaps we could have received already a legal opinion from our team, but as I'm saying, it could have maybe too much extended. Finally, Chair, I will suggest that it is important for us, before we can say whether we go public or not public, to get responses from the department on these submissions, because I think they are the ones that will give us more guidelines whether we go public or not. However, I do consider that very few people have responded, and that might not represent the whole country, although their submissions are indeed very substantive. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Noe. Honorable Kim, your hand has went off. I'm not sure if you still want to make input.
Okay, Chair. Chairperson, let me also welcome greetings to everyone who's on the platform, and let me also welcome the inputs from different stakeholders in regard to the bill. Chair, from my side, as much as we appreciate the inputs that has been made, one is that I'm not sure whether departments, security cluster departments are also allowed to do inputs. I'm mentioning this because during the oversight we had in Free State, SANDF, we had a longer meeting with them where they also came up with some recommendation that I strongly believe can make a difference, or if those recommendations are incorporated into these inputs, will actually assist us in dealing with this bill that is before us. But again, Chair, from my side, I suggest that having received all the inputs from different stakeholders, I will urge this committee that we should also have a public participation in one or two provinces where there are borders, where we can also get input from communities who are residing there, or people who have got direct relationship with the border management authority. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kim. Honorable Gerik.
Yeah, Chairperson, without wasting a lot of time, let me support Honorable Madupi in her request. I think it's important because the issue of migration and border control and all the issues surrounding that topic is a hot topic at the moment, and that the interests of those affected communities, or all other affected communities, will give us some kind of direction also when they make their inputs. It will also bring us in alignment with what the President has announced the other evening in his, in inverted commas, his family meeting, when he spoke on the issue of migration and so on. He's given a couple of guidelines there. I think we must bring that into alignment. We must bring all that information together and disseminate that type of information. But I think it is important to take the interest of the public into consideration when it comes to this issue, and it will also greatly assist us then. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honorable members, for your input. Anthea, can you respond to clarity seeking question by Honorable Noe? And I think two honorable members are in agreement that we must take this process for public hearing, of which one agrees. But I think on that one, we need to be guided by the work that has been done by the portfolio committee, so that we don't do stampede of our work. Then we go where they didn't go. Like for instance, one feels that if we were to do these public hearings, let's check as well on our scope on areas that we haven't went through in terms of the borderlines. Like I think Northern Cape, we have never been there in terms of any engagement. So with this one of this one-stop border bill, it will be as well our excursion or study work to check what is happening on that particular borderline. So if we choose, as Honorable Medipi could have advised, two provinces, the one that I feel that we need to prioritize is Northern Cape, and I'm not sure which one because of we from Limpopo, we know the situation. We from Northwest, we know the situation. We from Free State, we know the situation. So now we need to prioritize KZN and Northern Cape, so that at least we would have the essence of what is happening. It's just a suggestion. Honorable Gerik, I see your hand again. You can come in before Anthea responds. So I was just lobbying you, but when you engage, just confirm or lobby which provinces can we conduct this public hearing. But again, I think what we need to do for consistency, as we did with the immigration bill, we would, for those who have made submission, more especially these ones who have made substantive submissions, we can call them when we have the department for oral submissions, and then we get responses from the department. So we what this one-stop border bill post needs to execute. So that's it from me. But Honorable Gerik, I've noted your hand, or was it a legacy hand?
No, it's a legacy hand, Chair. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Any idea? We after Anthea responding to some clarities by Honorable Noe, would then get to speak on which provinces can we choose. But I was just saying that in our process of choosing, we'll just get them to, we'll actually ask our support staff to get a data on which areas did the portfolio committee conduct their public participation process, so that we don't repeat, and then we'll then take it from there. But I would need your wisdom as well on provinces that one have suggested. Anthea, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Yes, we will look at what the PC committee did, Chair, and see if they visited any provinces, or if I recall, I think they just had oral hearings, but I will double check on that and then get back to you. Just on Honorable Noe's comment around the border guard submission, just in my experience with dealing with the submissions in the past, Chairperson, we've received submissions from political parties and from departments. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with him as a border guard making the submission, but I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just speaking from my own experience over the years of dealing with the submitters and commentators. And then Honorable Noe was speaking to the substantive recommendations being made to make the changes in the bill, and that really rests with the department and with the legal advisors in the future meeting, Chairperson, because they will then be able to say whether or not those amendments can or cannot we can make the amendments to the bill, or alternatively suggest perhaps that there's a different process to undertake. But thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, honourable members.
Thank you, Anthea, for clarity. I think in our next meeting, the department must be there, as well as the legal advisor, with those that will be saying that they are willing for oral submissions. So that meeting will be specifically to deal around that issue, so that at least when we do public hearings, we have exhausted and done with the issue of submissions from the public. And I think members, we have noted what could have caused delays with regards to this matter. And I want to employ those who are sitting in chairs of chairpersons meeting to actually deal with this issue, because we can be delayed by issues of supply chain management. If we are delayed, therefore, it would always disrupt the work that we need to do and our program as adopted by the committees. So Honorable Mukai, Honorable Pala, I want to employ to your good selves that when we meet at that meeting, let's indicate this issue as something that we need not to experience in future, whether by us or other committees. So with that being said, members, can we just deal with the matter of the provinces, noting that we're going to collect data and verify with where we've been in terms of our oversight physical work. As I said, I put it before your good selves that can we prioritize Northern Cape and KZN for those public hearings? Honorable Noe.
Thank you, Chair. While I agree with your submission in terms of where to focus on, I just want to tag on that while we do that, but also we must consider where there is more challenge. And then we think as far as the BMA and this bill is trying to address, to relieve the pressure, that we should not also ignore. Yes, we might find ourselves having to repeat the border post that we may think of, but I think where there is more problem, that should also be a consideration or a merit to what you have just said. Yes, my Northern Cape, we might not have been there, but to what extent is a challenge of illegal immigrants entry points in that area as compared to Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Thank you, Chair.
I'm persuaded by what you're putting before us in terms of the risk, and as well where would actually get the essence of the realities of people living there, on how this one-stop border post bill will assist them on. So I'm really persuaded, and I think you were just relevant by saying that where we've been as well, we would need to go based on what is happening and what we need to get out of the public participation process. So I'm persuaded, Honorable Pito, and I've noted what you have said, Honorable Pala.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I think if I to echo the same sentiment, say the pressure is more on in terms of the one-stop border post should be Lubombo, which is in Mpumalanga, and Limpopo, which is Beitbridge. The other area which has pressure, I think, is Fixback, that is the Free State, and as well as the KZN. KZN, there are some serious challenges as well. But now, in terms of the one-stop post, I do not know with regard to. I was not in the past in the past presentation where the PME was presenting. So I cannot speak really on informed basis. But I think the focus should be in Beitbridge, which is Mosina, and as well as Lebombo, which is Mpumalanga, and the Fixback. I think those are the areas where you've got congestion, which can assist in terms of the one-stop border post. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, yeah, I think, as I said, I'm persuaded properly by the comments of Honorable Noe, and as well your comment, Honorable Pap, in terms of where this bill will be more effective and where will it be working, because of we know it's within 6 borders, so we'll choose among those 6 borders. As you said, I think also Osuk would be one of those that we will definitely need to go, because we did go to the Limbombo, and we know, so we would, I think, Beitbridge and the Osuk for now. It's what we can work on as for public participation hearings, so that at least on our side we are able to do administration. So we get everybody that we need, stakeholders, your taxi association, your unions, young people, different sectors that we think that they need to know what this bill seeks to address, and through their input, we would be greatly assisted based on their realities that they live with, and they are best suited to actually give advice on what needs to be done. So I think you were very straightforward in terms of how can we best deal with issue of public participation. But as I said, let's make sure that we are guided by the work done by the portfolio committee, because as NCOP we have adopted the strategy that we no longer want to do stampede of oversight based on the fact that we know that we are actually on an aerial view of making sure that all 9 provinces are served, and all 9 provinces, they know the work that we are doing as the NCOP in terms of dealing with their issues through legislations and policies. So with that being said, members, I really appreciate your meaningful...
Chair, before you close, please, if you allow me.
Honorable Noe?
Yeah, Pala, not Noe.
Honorable Pala, sorry.
Yes, yeah. I would say Northern Cape, as you mentioned, we should not neglect it. Northern Cape and Northwest. Those are our areas which are moderate, but criminals take advantage of that. So we need to find time as well to put them in our radar. That is the area of Northern Cape and the area of Northwest, which we must not completely put them aside. It's very important that we know exactly, we go and see exactly what is happening there, because criminals take advantage of the areas which we are not focusing on. And anyway, that's what we used to do as well during our liberation struggle. That is, we used those areas which were seen as more safer. So I was just saying we should not put the issue of Northern Cape and Northwest aside. We need to take them into consideration. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Pala. I see Honorable Offenses acknowledging your input. Honorable Gotzel, Honorable Pala, you can lower your hand.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Don't worry, I'm not bringing a Western Cape flavor to the conversation. I just want to make a suggestion, and of course now it would be the first time that we would do these kinds of engagements and public participation. And in order to perhaps cover as many provinces as is decided upon, has it ever been done that that the committee perhaps divides itself into two committees with equal representation, perhaps, and then kind of split up in order to be able to cover more ground? I'm just putting it out there as a suggestion.
I know if Western Cape was announced, you are not going to have a problem. It's fine. I'm noting what you are saying, Honorable Koto. Honorable Midupi.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'm also not going to dwell much into which province or which one, but based on the inputs that have been made by both honorable members actually who spoke on this matter, indeed, Northern Cape, there's a need for us to go there. I will just wait the Chairperson. But on your side, I think let it be your prerogative to guide us as to, because we cannot be seen discussing this, Chairperson. All the reasons has been put before you, and then you will do your determination and we'll follow that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Midupi. Your counsel has been taken and sustained. Anthea, can you come in?
Yes, Chairperson, I just checked with the content advisor in the PC Home Affairs Committee. They did not do public hearings in provinces, Chairperson. They only got written and oral submissions, just to clarify that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then I think with us, we said we are agreeing that we must go for at least public hearings for submissions. And then that's where we are. It's good that they didn't go anywhere. So in terms of what has been put forth is that at least let's have two, but we'll explore other provinces if time permits and the program permits. I think that's where we need to leave it at as this collective. So with that being said, members, thank you for your meaningful participation and the insight that you have, that you always project in these meetings as we engage, because of without NCOP, our people won't be safest. So I understand why every time each and everyone has to raise their banner based on what they are experiencing in their provinces. And I want to wish well those who would be participating tomorrow, and as well further acknowledge that we were well represented by Honorable Mukai and Honorable Billy in Youth Parliament. MKPA, you can do better next time. We know we are young at heart. Make sure that you've got your representation attending these particular platforms so that we get your insight and refine and reset the work that needs to be done by parliamentarians. With that being said, the meeting is officially adjourned if there are no announcements from any member, Manyalo, Miketi, and other issues.
Long live Chairperson.
Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Machoben, is a parliament? Is a parliament?
No,
We call it triple
not
M.
now. I'm
Manyalo
busy.
Mafu
Not
Limited.
now. I will come after recess.
Yeah, we are busy on the ground, guys. Yo.
There's no apology for Thursday. Didn't you hear that, Machoben? You must come.
Three-line whip, three-line whip, three-line whip.
No,
I will. I will come.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.